Well, Cowboy Jim here again, and thank you so very much for your time. I hope I'm not imposing upon you, and I pray that you have a good day. YouTube, they, they taught me some parameters that I'm not supposed to cross, and so I try not to quite diligently, actually. But in their chastisement and their recommendations, they said that I should, every time I do a video, I should ask people if you find any joy in this or any value. If you could hit the subscribe button and quite possibly the like button, that dislike button you can hit, but I'd rather you didn't. I haven't had one of those for a while. And but nonetheless, my I I thought this morning I'm going to head back down to Coots, and I haven't been there for several years, and certainly wasn't in a protest. And I thought, oh geez, I don't know. And so I looked it up on my maps on my phone. I can do that. I can hardly do much of anything else on the phone, but or on the laptop for all that matters. But the only thing I can do is make a video. Don't know how to edit it. Haven't found the apostrophe yet for can't or don't or whatever. But nonetheless, I'm persevering, and uh, I I choose to make a comment time to time. Too often, it seems. I don't have that many people who view my stuff on a tremendously regular basis, and it well could be a reflection of the content, and probably is. And but nonetheless, I was going to go down there, and I thought I don't want to sleep in my stupid truck. I've done it too many times over the years, and sometimes it was what I had to do, and in order to make the mortgage payments on the ranch and all that sort of stuff. And boy, I tell you, I thought, well, I'll just pray for the truckers, and I thought, well, I'll also do a video, and probably none of them I ever watch, but nonetheless, it doesn't matter. I watch CTV News in Canada, and they're better than the CBC by a long shot, and I mean a long shot. And I watch Fox News down in the States because their bias is towards conservatism, and that's where mine is too. And I, I was quite impressed. The Canadian Freedom Convoy is now being emulated, copied around the world, and it is going to grow further. Paris, France. I always wanted to learn French, not necessarily Parisian French, but nonetheless French. And then it's taken off pretty big down in New Zealand. I'm surprised about the Aussies. They haven't become quite as involved as the dictates of the government would indicate they should be in terms of the restrictions and so on. I can't mention what restrictions because that's improper. I may be giving wrong information, but nonetheless. So I will deviate from that area of commentary, but it's there. I have it, let me tell you, and I'm sure so too do you. When you consider a third, the last poll I heard, a third of the people polled supported very strongly the Freedom Convoy. Not those interlopers who have infiltrated nor tried to take a good cause and make it a political agenda, and people are acting stupid and saying they want to get rid of Trudeau. Well, it's not stupid to want to get rid of Trudeau, but there are ways, means, methods, and they encompass illegality. And You're not going to uh, put a sitting prime minister, blackface or no. I never did understand why that young man would put black all over his face and, in essence, make light of people of color. And yet, at the same time, that fatherless child, there's a B word for that man, and that fatherless child refers to the Freedom Convoy as being racism, homophobic, everything else, every ism that you could imagine that Prime Minister of Canada. Jeez, people, do you not realize? I mean, this is his second run. He was reelected. Do you not understand? You, you keep doing the same thing and hope for a different outcome. It's called idiocy. It is. But we are Canadians, and trust me, we're polite. But trust me in this. Don't pick on a group of Canadians who are protesting peacefully and try to color them as so many of the politicians have. Unfortunately, the wind blows a politician wherever that politician happened to think that they might possibly get reelected. But you listen to people, the mayor of Ottawa, the mayor of Toronto, and you listen to the news, and they misrepresent our Canadian right of free speech. I said before, most truckers in the convoy already had their shots, see? But it's not an issue of shots. It's an issue, well, it is in some ways. Like I've had both my shots, and now they're talking about you should have 3 or 4 boosters after your shots. Well, if they didn't work in the first place, and why would you do that? Perhaps you should. It's your choice. I'm not telling, geez, I shouldn't even be talking about this. Oh, geez. Anyways, let's move on to a safer subject. Our Prime Minister depicts Canadians in the Freedom Convoy as being racist and everything else, and further, denigrates them to second-class citizenship or lower, much lower actually. And the politicians do not understand. They are speaking about 1/3 of the Canadian people, as from the poll, as I said. And the next election, it's going to be very interesting. It is my most sincere prayer that the truckers will not turn violent, because you piss off a Canadian whose ancestors fought, bled, and died for freedom, and you continue to erode that freedom, and you continue to take it away, like as though you as politicians are the final answer for intelligent thought. Well, we know what politicians are. Well, we're shocked at a few politicians because they not only say what they're going to do, they do it. That being Stephen Harper, that being Donald Trump down in the States, and that being my hero over in Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. We have had others. There have been others, but they're very few and very far between. Because most people propagate the idea that their original thought it's quite shockingly wonderful. And mostly they are but talking points. And you see people in positions of authority giving counsel and direction like as though it were the definitive answer for all that is right and all that is pure. And I think it's processed hay out the tail end of a horse for the most part. You have to look at data, information, and look at it from a point of objectivity, a point of common sense, a point of not self-righteousness. Not that. Look with objectivity and choose for yourself, based on information, your choices, not someone else's. I find it so offensive. The RCMP stealing, removing the fuel, the cans of diesel off the trucks that were there on the trucks. And they say they have the right to do that, like as though they did. But people in Canada are getting tired of the victims being portrayed as the criminals and the criminals being portrayed as victims. Listen, justice. It is a right for all Canadians of all colors, of all political persuasions, of all ancestral persuasions, colors. We are Canadians. We are peace-loving. Oh, I am so concerned because you kick a sleeping dog. You pick on protesters who are doing their best to be fair, and you pick on them too much, and there will be a response. And that just causes me great sadness and great heartache, because don't pick on a Canadian. We're polite, we're humble, but don't go drawing lines in the sand. Don't do that. You look at the root problem. It's not the protesters. Yes, they are curtailing trade goods going across the border, yes. But you look at that bastard in Ottawa, blackface, Prime Minister. He said that he would support Black Lives Matter and did, and marched with them. That's my understanding. I could be wrong. But he would not even meet with the truckers because he didn't believe in them. Blackface, Prime Minister, Trudeau. Boy, that's a bad word in my memory. Bad word. If you are so arrogant in your political self-righteousness that you demean Canadians, I will always remember that Sikh truck driver down there in Ottawa. He had been running truck in Canada for 14 years. He still was a Sikh. He still had his own belief systems. Children, don't pick on the Freedom Convoy, because Canada has been known for integrity in many ways, except with the politicians. Canada has been known as a country that will go to war to defend those who cannot defend themselves. That's what we do. That's what the Irish do. But you denigrate us. You abuse a Canadian, and you'll have 10 or 12 other Canadians standing right beside that person, giving them support. Fox News had a reporter lady up there in Ottawa, and some idiot some pretend man walked by as she was doing an interview on Fox News and pushed her. Well, there were 3 other Canadians stepped up very quickly to make sure that her everything was okay and that her connection and so on, her from the microphone and so on, was everything was okay. I'm telling you, how that person felt that they had the right to interfere with free speech and pretend to be a trucker, and he is no trucker. We wouldn't do that. I run truck in a mine, haul truck. 797, over 400-ton capability of hauling, and 793 and 789, all that sort of cat stuff. And I do my very best. I may screw up, but I do my very best to honor the people that I work with. I'm the only one in the mine that spent 8.5 months waving at every single person in Suncor Main Mine. That's me, old Cowboy Jim. Listen, you look out for one another. And to that pretend man that pushed that Fox News reporter, you should be ashamed, son. If I'd been there, you would have been looking up, okay? You would have been on the ground, son. And you wouldn't have had a hope in hell of not getting there. And real quick. You don't push ladies. I don't care what they're doing. You respect women. Fatherless child, you should be ashamed who pushed that reporter. Reporter, God bless you. You did a good job. You did it fairly. But what else would you do for Fox News down in the States but do things fairly? God bless you. Hope this didn't have too much of an edge on it. Don't think so. Well, I'll probably find out. Anyways, if you like this stuff that I do, especially the stuff about the abused children, would you just push the little subscribe button? Okay. Thank you very much. God bless you. Old Cowboy Jim, rancher. Oh, God's going to give me a chunk of land back. I know. God bless you. God bless.